The British royal family has witnessed many moments of joy, triumph, and tragedy throughout its long history. But in early September, the nation was struck with sadness once again as news came from Buckingham Palace. The Duchess of Kent had passed away at the age of 92. Her death, announced on the 4th of September, marked the end of a remarkable life lived with quiet dignity, deep compassion, and unwavering service to both her family and the public. The news touched not only the royal family but also countless people who remembered her devotion to causes close to her heart, especially her love for music and her empathy toward the younger generation. On Friday, Buckingham Palace released a statement confirming her passing. It was a moment of reflection for many across the United Kingdom, especially those who had admired the Duchess over the decades. The statement carried the voices of King Charles and Queen Camilla, expressing their grief and also celebrating her legacy. It read in part, "The King and Queen and all members of the royal family join the Duke of Kent, his children and grandchildren in mourning their loss, and remembering fondly the Duchess's lifelong devotion to all the organizations with which she was associated, her passion for music, and her empathy for young people." These words reminded the nation of the Duchess's lifelong dedication. She was never one to seek the spotlight, yet her impact was felt strongly by those who knew her and by those who benefited from her charitable efforts. But it was the emotional words of Prince William, the Prince of Wales, that struck a particularly deep chord with the public. Known for being a man of measured tone and careful public statements, William broke his silence with a heartfelt tribute. On Kensington Palace's official social media accounts, a message was shared on behalf of both the Prince and Princess of Wales. It read, "Our thoughts today are with the Duke of Kent and his family, particularly George, Helen, and Nicholas. The Duchess worked tirelessly to help others and supported many causes, including through her love of music. She will be a much-missed member of the family." Simple, yet powerful, the message was more than just royal formality. It was a personal acknowledgement of the bond that William and Catherine shared with the Duchess. It showed the human side of a family so often shielded by titles and tradition. To understand the depth of these tributes, one must look at the life of the Duchess of Kent herself. Born Catherine Worsley, she entered royal life when she married Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, in 1961. For more than 6 decades, she stood by his side while also carving her own role within the family. Unlike many royals, she was not constantly in the public eye, but she became known for her strong sense of duty. She served as a patron of numerous charities, often focusing on young people and the transformative power of music. She believed deeply in music's ability to heal, inspire, and uplift, values she promoted throughout her life. It is this passion for music that made her beloved by many. She taught children, encouraged musicians, and supported institutions that brought art and culture to those who might otherwise have been excluded. The Duchess was also admired for her humility. Despite being a member of one of the world's most famous families, she chose to live in a way that was modest, approachable, and grounded. For many, that humility was a reminder that royalty is not just about titles, but also about service and humanity. At the heart of her life was her family. The Duchess is survived by her husband, the Duke of Kent, and their 3 children, George, Earl of St. Andrews, Lady Helen Taylor, and Lord Nicholas Windsor. Her legacy also extends to her grandchildren, including Lady Amelia Windsor, a model often seen at fashion events, and Lady Marina Windsor, who made headlines earlier this year when she announced her engagement to Nico Macaulay. The Duchess's bond with her family was profound, and in the tributes shared by the royal family, one can sense the depth of that personal loss. While William's words were heartfelt and personal, the message from King Charles and Queen Camilla carried a weight of history and official dignity. By calling attention to her lifelong devotion and empathy for young people, they highlighted not just who she was as a royal, but who she was as a person. Her legacy is not only in the titles she held or the duties she performed, but in the lives she touched through kindness, empathy, and encouragement. When a member of the royal family passes away, it becomes more than a private matter. It is felt across the nation. For many in Britain, the death of the Duchess of Kent was a reminder of the generations of royals who have quietly served behind the scenes. The Duchess may not have always been in the spotlight like the Queen or Princess Diana once were, but her presence was steady, reassuring, and deeply respected. She represented a generation of royals who placed service above self. For Prince William, the tribute was more than duty. It was a moment of connection. As a future king, William is expected to balance tradition with modernity, formality with empathy. His words about the Duchess reflected this balance, an acknowledgement of her public contributions and her private warmth. In recent years, William and Catherine have sought to humanize the monarchy, making it more relatable to the public. Their tribute to the Duchess fit this approach perfectly. It was dignified yet deeply personal. The response to the tributes was immediate. Across social media and in the press, people shared their condolences and memories of the Duchess. Many highlighted her passion for education and music, while others reflected on how she carried herself with grace throughout her life. One theme was clear. Although she had lived a long life, her passing left a sense of loss that went beyond the walls of Buckingham Palace. In reflecting on the Duchess of Kent's life, it is clear that her story is one of dedication, compassion, and resilience. She lived through decades of change within the monarchy, adapting with grace while holding firm to her values. Her work with young people and musicians stands as a testament to her belief in the power of culture to transform lives. Her empathy for others, whether through her royal duties or her quiet acts of kindness, left an imprint that will not be forgotten. Prince William's emotional words capture what many within the royal family and the nation are feeling. The Duchess of Kent was not only a royal figure but also a woman of deep compassion and commitment. She gave her life to service, to her family, and to the causes she believed in. Her passing marks the end of an era, but her legacy lives on in the lives she touched, the families she raised, and the memories she left behind. For the royal family, this is a time of mourning. For the nation, it is a time of reflection. And for Prince William, breaking his silence with heartfelt words. It is a reminder that even within the most public of families, grief remains deeply personal. The Duchess of Kent may be gone, but she will always be remembered as a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a royal, and above all, a woman who cared deeply for others. Her devotion, her humility, and her compassion will echo in the memory of those who knew her, and her story will continue to inspire generations to come.